Hey there, TV fans. It's time for a brand new episode of FYC from now until September 14th, 2025, the day of the 77th Emmys. We are going to be doing our FYC thing, the amazing Perri Nemiroff, the mighty Jeff Snyder, and this guy who's two thumbs is really happy to be doing FYC, this guy. So the Emmy nominations are July 15th, and we are closing in on the nominations, which means we have just enough time to do our supporting actor and actress picks in each of the different comedy and drama categories. So with this brand new episode of FYC, we're going to be covering supporting actor and supporting actress in a drama series. Let's start, as usual, with the amazing Perri Nemiroff. Who is your number one pick with a bullet here on supporting actor in a drama series?
I think that I mean, honestly, this is hard. I think this category is going to be mostly dominated by two shows. And I think for the number one spot right now, I might veer towards the individual who is excellent in his show, but also seems to have like a real strong hold on the spotlight and to be doing some really great things with it right now. I'm going with Tremel Tillman for Severance. I can't get enough of his energy on and off screen. I think he is the absolute coolest. He is making the most of this run right now. And I think at the very least, it's going to pay off with a nomination.
And Tremel Tillman is also in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. He was the submarine commander. So he's definitely on fire right now. I have Tremel Tillman on my list, but before I tell you where, I want to know, Jeff, where do you have Tremel Tillman on your list?
Number two.
He
is who number two works for. And by the way,
you beat me to
it. Dad's having some work done on the house, so forgive me if you hear some loud sounds. But I still haven't seen season 2 of Severance. I actually plan to watch it while I'm back here in Boston and have a little bit of time. But I haven't dove in yet. I've heard he's terrific and really makes the leap this season. And, I've certainly seen more of him lately, like Mission Impossible, Barron's Cove, he was just in. So I'm thrilled for him, but I don't know if it's enough to knock off my number one.
Okay. Well, I have Tremel Tillman at number 6. Sorry. No, that's wrong. No. Sorry. It's early here. I'm still on the West Coast. Number 4. A very, very strong number 4. I feel like, supporting actor and supporting actress in a drama series is basically going to be like the White Lotus show here and the Severance show. Those two shows are going to dominate these nominations. My number 1 is Walton Goggins from the White Lotus. He is a 2-time Emmy nominee, also for Fallout, which he was fantastic in, and also Justified, which he is fantastic in.
And Righteous Gemstones, Uncle Baby Billy.
Righteous Gemstones. I think he's amazing. I feel like, I overall, I don't feel like season 3 of White Lotus was nearly as good as the second season. I thought the second season was the best. And the first season was also very, very good, but it's still really, really good. I mean, I watched, hung on every week to plan my Sunday nights around White Lotus. Jeff, where is Walton Goggins on your list?
He's number 1, and I think he has this in the bag. I think that this is definitely his award. There's just an interiority to his performance as Rick, where he's always stewing and thinking, and I don't know. I thought he was tremendous this season. By far the best thing about that season.
Yeah, I agree with that. So the question, Perri Nemiroff, is where is Walton Goggins on your list?
Walton Goggins is my number 2.
Number 2.
I do think he is absolutely phenomenal in the White Lotus. I think I might like season 3 in comparison to 1 and 2 a little more than you guys, but as much as I think Walton Goggins is phenomenal in his role, I think my personal preference, like if I were a voter choosing only one, the White Lotus actor, I think I just might veer towards someone else.
Okay. All right. Who is that someone else?
That someone else is my number 3. So that was the perfect tee up, man. Thank you for that. I'd go with Jason Isaacs.
Okay.
I'm utterly fascinated by what he does all season. He's got a couple of great of dialogue heavy scenes, but for the most part, dude is just sitting there watching his family and carrying around everything he knows about what they're heading back to without being able to I feel like I could see him like being on the verge of like popping the entire season. And I could just like feel all the weight and the pressure and the heartbreak and everything that he's managing. And oh my, like that final episode. And I think he's just so damn good with navigating all of that. So he's actually my preferred between the two, but I love both of their work. I just think Walton has the better chance at this point in the time than Jason does, but I think they're both getting nominations.
I agree with you about Jason Isaacs. I mean, he carries around a lot of guilt throughout the season, and you can see it building and building, and before it finally explodes. You know, I think overall the problem I had with the third season was it was all about like where this is all going to go, who's going to die, you know, and it just tried a little too hard. But again, I still liked it a lot. I thought Jason Isaacs was great. He's my number 3. Jeff, where is Jason Isaacs on your list?
I have him at number 4, actually, behind another White Lotus actor. And that's because as I love Jason Isaacs, I thought he was great, but the character sort of falls under the influence of drugs in the second half of the series, where he's popping pills and he's just kind of like, that's sort of the performance. He's just like checked out and not there. And I think that his Emmy chances are going to suffer for that. I mean, you know, that's the character. And yes, he was dealing with a ton of shame. But yeah, I just felt like in the second half of the series, he's kind of just like, you know, sleepwalking through life because of pills.
Fair assessment. I agree with that, but you know, it does have a great payoff. My number two works for Sam Rockwell. I mean, he was a big surprise. I didn't even know he was on this season until he showed up, you know, that first time with Rick, and, you know, gave a killer monologue. And I thought, okay, well, I wonder if that's his only episode, but it wasn't. But that was definitely the standout moment for Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell is a 2-time Emmy nominee for Fosse Verdon as a lead actor and as a producer. And he is an Oscar winner for supporting actor for the excellent film 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. He's just one of those actors. He just is great in everything he does. And, you know, it's sort of like, you know, musical chairs when it comes to a lot of these White Lotus actors and supporting actor for drama series. You know, take your pick, right? But I do feel like Walton kind of has the edge here in terms of winning.
I'm with you, Manson, that I put Sam Rockwell at number 3 over Jason Isaacs.
Yeah,
I do think, you know, like Jason Isaacs is obviously in more of the show and has more heavy lifting to do, but the one monologue that Sam Rockwell gets, he like absolutely hits out of the park. It's like a grand slam. And I actually loaned him my my leopard print underwear. So Sam Rockwell.
Good to know. Good to know. Hot 8 yoga. All right. So far we agree on 4 of our picks for supporting actor. 4 out of 7. 7 slots in supporting actor for drama series. Walton Goggins, Sam Rockwell, Jason Isaacs, all from White Lotus, and also Tremel Tillman for Severance, who's Perri's one.
I didn't reveal where Sam Rockwell is on my list.
Oh, where is Sam Rockwell on your list?
Sam Rockwell is my number 5.
Number 5. Okay.
So, and admittedly, like, I am very well aware of like the general tone of the conversation. I know he is high up on a lot of lists out there. And I think he is great in the show. But again, I have a hard time thinking that he will get this award over Walton Goggins and Jason Isaacs. Like, again, you can do a lot with a little screen time. I will not deny that. But like you said, Mance, the other two, they're doing a different kind of heavy lifting. And they just feel like they belong higher up on this list to me.
And Rockwell got screwed out of an Emmy because he's in one episode too many, I think. Right? He would have gotten the guest Emmy.
Oh, well, yeah, but absolutely he would have.
Most likely.
Yeah, but I still think that he's a very, very strong shot, but I don't think, well, anyway. All right, so Perri, who's next on your list?
Me or Jeff?
You, Perri.
You.
So then we are up to my number 4. I have a missing slot here. That's John Turturro for Severance. I think I think a lot of these nominations we've discussed thus far are pretty undeniable. Things only start to get maybe a little question mark with the last 2, but I think John Turturro and Tremel Tillman are like absolute guarantees in this category for that show.
All right, Jeff Snyder, where is John Turturro on your list?
I got Johnny T at number 6. Can't be ignored. But yeah, I think he's an also ran this season.
I have him at number 5 on my list. He's great. He's terrific in Severance. He's an Emmy winner for outstanding guest actor on Monk. Remember Monk? And he's also a 3-time Emmy nominee for the previous season of Severance, also Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and The Night of. And just going back a bit here, but one of my all-time favorite movies about Hollywood is Barton Fink. And he was the Best Actor winner at the Cannes Film Festival in 1991 for that movie. Also in one of my favorite movies of all time, Spike Lee, of course, 1989. What's the movie, Jeff?
Do the Right Thing, baby.
Do the Right Friggin' Thing. Movie that still holds up. So I have John Turturro at number 5, and Jeff, you have him at your number 6, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So far, 5 for 5 here. I'm going to go with my number 6 and throw out Patrick Schwarzenegger. Perri. Yeah.
He's also my number 6.
Oh, okay, great. Why?
He's my number 5 because I got you, Patrick.
I was so impressed by him. I did the White Lotus binge a little later than most, so I don't know. I just saw a bunch of headlines, and I don't think I was prepared for. I don't think I was prepared for like the level of depth in his performance and how uncomfortable he was able to make me with like just facial expressions alone. Like a little way, past the midpoint, he just loses everything, but like he gains so much in here. And I loved the fact that like I had a hard time looking at him. I think that was intended and well earned.
I think the power of his performance. I think I was very impressed by his performance here. It's the first time I've really seen him in something where he really stood out. But he projects this air of confidence and definitely a testosterone, which obviously comes from his dad. But beneath the surface, he is incredibly insecure and unsure of who he even is. I thought he was great. Jeff, you have him where?
I have him at 5, and when you look at the douchebag bros on the White Lotus, right? It's been Jake Lacey and then Theo James. I think Patrick Schwarzenegger gives the best performance out of those 3 guys.
Fair enough.
There's a lot going on underneath the surface, and I'm thrilled that he's getting recognized now in Hollywood and in high demand, getting some big roles.
Yep. All right. So we have 6 out of 7 that match. Perri, what's your final choice here?
Listen, no one's going to agree with me, and I know it, but personally, I think he deserves to be on this list, and I wish more people were talking about the show a little more in this space because it deserves it overall. I'm going to go with Bradley Whitford for The Handmaid's Tale right now. He's a wildly talented actor in general, so it shouldn't be a surprise, but he's been so damn good on that show for so long, and watching how that character evolves and how deftly he's handled it all, and I thought this season in particular, he just like gets a couple of show-stopping moments that I won't dare to spoil right now, but dude has taken that role and has made so much more out of the character than I ever could have imagined day one. I really want to see him get a nomination here.
Jeff, you have Bradley Whitford on your list here.
I do, actually. I have him at number 7, just like Perri. I think that he sneaks in over some of these younger guys.
Wow.
Matt Soden, Zach Cherry, Sam Navola, Patrick Ball, Young Mazzino. I think that they go with a veteran in this slot and send him off proper since it's the final season.
I am so happy to hear that.
That is a very, very fair. I love that both of you have him at your number 7. I don't have him at my number 7. He's my number 4 honorable mention. My number 7 is kind of a big, kind of a swing of not just the bat, but the lightsaber, even though he never used it in the Andor, is Stellan Skarsgård. I think that show is freaking hot. The second season was brilliant. He is fantastic on the show. He's fantastic on both seasons. He's an Emmy nominee for supporting actor in a limited series for Chernobyl. He's awesome in the Dune films. He's just one of those actors who just like crushes it. He's like Mamma Mia, he's awesome in, and Good Will Hunting. I mean, he's just been around forever. But he really has been spectacular on Andor. I don't know if you have him on your honorable mentions. I'm just curious, but it's already a unanimous here for Bradley Whitford to top out the list. But Do either of you have the Stellan on your list?
I don't. I mean, I would love to see almost anybody from the Andor ensemble get a nomination. I think maybe if we're just looking at the supporting categories, it would have a better chance with some of its supporting actress contenders versus Stellan Skarsgård. But if he got a nomination, I'd still be super happy.
Jeff, what do you think?
I love Stellan Skarsgård. When I got to college, I wrote my first screenplay. I wrote for Stellan Skarsgård.
You read it?
No, he did not. Such is my respect for him, because I'm a Boston guy, Good Will Hunting, you know.
Oh, there you go. Sure.
But yeah, I didn't really watch Andor, and I don't really think he's a strong contender this Emmy season.
Again,
Jeff, I would love for you to watch Andor. If I could pick one contender this season for you to prioritize a binge, I want it to be that one.
I've thought about it. Listen, if I get through Severance quickly, maybe I'll have time for Andor, because there's definitely a gap as far as like new stuff. There's not much to watch. I've seen it all. So
well, there you go. So then those are our picks for supporting actor: Walton Goggins, The White Lotus; Sam Rockwell, The White Lotus; Jason Isaacs, The White Lotus; Patrick Schwarzenegger, The White Lotus. See what I mean? But this is all predictable. Tremel Tillman for Severance, and John Turturro for Severance, and Bradley Whitford for Handmaid's Tale. Right now, we're just going to stop for a second. Just tell everybody, make sure you subscribe to Perri's YouTube channel. Just scroll down, see it right there, hit subscribe. Follow Perri on social media, P. Nemiroff or Perri Nemiroff. Follow Jeff Snyder at The Int Snyder. Subscribe to Jeff's newsletter, theintsnyder.com, and catch Jeff's other show with John Roca, The Hot Mic. Follow me on Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it, Instagram, TikTok, and whatever, at Movie Mance. And moving on to supporting actress in a drama series, Jeff, theintsnyder.com. Who do you got as your number one?
Again, I think with a bullet, Carrie Coon from The White Lotus. I think this is her year. Obviously, a lot of strong contenders. This is a pretty deep year in this category, but I think Carrie Coon's out in front by a good distance.
Good distance, huh? Is she out in a good distance for you too, Perri?
The category is stacked. Mm-hmm. She might be towards the top of my list. She's not my number one, though. And admittedly, I think I've played the game a little bit with my heart leading my order in some respects, and this particular one is an example of that. Do you want me to reveal what my number one is, or where Carrie Coon is?
Where's Carrie Coon first?
Two.
Okay, I have her at number 3. Who's your number one?
My number one is Amy Lou Wood. I think if any of the White Lotus actresses win this category, it should be her. I think she has been absolutely like top tier phenomenal in every single thing I've seen her in. Like, she totally stole Sex Education for me. And now, sure enough, she is such a scene stealer in this. She wound up being, I guess, like one of the more surprising, like, grounding anchors for me. Like, I needed her. And again, it's another example of someone so effectively conveying how what everything going on around their character could feel like. I felt every single like ounce of hurt when he would not be there for her. I thought she did such a beautiful job portraying all of that. And I want to root for her. So I'm going to root for her at this point in time. I'm going to keep her at my number one.
Well, you're in good company here, Perri, because I too have Amy Lou Wood at number one. I think Carrie Coon is fantastic in the show, but I feel like I've really discovered Amy Lou Wood watching The White Lotus. And I just feel that her support for Walton Goggins, her unconditional love for him, until she starts to push back, but also I feel like of the cast members, the two of them were the standouts here. The two, Walton Goggins and Amy Lou Wood, had the most really to work with here in terms of like expressing range in their characters throughout the season. And also, just as a side thing, when SNL made fun of her and the way that she stood up for herself and really she was a class act through that, I feel like people noticed her even more because of that. Like that got her attention for a good reason, because she stood up for herself. And I feel like that will actually sort of be in the back of people's minds. But I still think that performance-wise, she deserves to be number one. Jeff,
I think she's a little too young. I think that the nomination is going to be the win for her. That this, show put her on the map, but I don't know that it's going to like bring her to the top of the industry necessarily. I have her at number 4.
4. Wow. Okay. All right. So then who's your number 2?
My number 2 is Patty Arquette.
All right.
From Severance. I mean, she's just a powerhouse as far as racking up trophies. So
yeah, she is.
And I also tried to mirror with the Best Supporting Actress, like I did in Best Supporting Actor, where I went White Lotus number 1, then Tremel Tillman number 2. I wanted to kind of have the same structure in this category as well.
I have Patricia Arquette to you at number 4 on my list. And as far as those trophies, she is a 2-time Emmy winner for Medium and The Act. And of course, she is an Oscar winner for the movie that I was really championing all throughout 2014, supporting actress, that is Boyhood. Patricia Arquette is where on your list, Perri?
Patricia Arquette is my number 4.
Mine too.
Yeah, I think she's great. Her track record in this space is undeniable, and most certainly suggests that she should be on the higher up portion of this list. I love how much great competition there is in this like this is one of the most exciting categories there is out there. There's like double the amount of people that I would wholeheartedly root for getting a nomination here, and that's the coolest thing.
I agree. I think Patricia Arquette, she's my number 4 as well. My number 2 is Parker Posey from The White Lotus. I thought she was a fun character. She was totally out of it, totally self-absorbed, totally entitled, and totally fun to watch. A kind of character that you really wanted to see get her comeuppance in one way or another in The White Lotus season 3. She's an Emmy nominee for Mr. and Mrs. Smith, so she's got a lot going on at the same time here. Do either of you have Parker Posey on your list? If so, where?
I have Parker Posey at number 5. I love her in that role. I think she does exactly what she needs to do in that role. But I think when comparing the White Lotus performances I have listed above, I see them being, I guess, more meatier, less straightforward roles, whereas Parker Posey's character does not necessarily change all that much. And also like I don't want to like bring down this word, but because I'm always fighting against that. But like the first thing you did to describe her performance, Mance, is fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like she has very successfully turned that character into like a very enjoyable talking topic to like highlight, to meme, to have some fun with this season. Whereas the other 2 performances I have on this list, Amy Lou Woods and one other that I don't think I even realized I never listed Carrie Coon. Carrie Coon was my number 2. Did I ever say that? I don't think I did.
Yeah. All right.
But anyway, I think those 2 are a little more layered and perhaps should be higher up on the list, which is why I have Parker down at 5.
All right, Jeff, who's next on your list?
Parker Posey.
Okay.
I have her at number 3, and I agree with you, Perri. Like, I do think Amy Lou Wood may have given a better, richer, fuller performance. And I put Posey at 3 and Amy Lou at 4. But to me, Parker Posey is just someone who has paid her dues in this industry and hasn't really been the subject of this kind of conversation. And so now that she has that opportunity, I don't really see voters ignoring her. So in this case, it just comes down to like age and seniority, and that's why I gave her the nod over, one notch over Amy Lou Wood.
Well, Parker Posey was back in the 90s with movies like Party Girl. She was like, she was the indie queen of the day, and she's doing her best work now. Let's see, my number 5, because we already did my top 4.
Top 4, yeah.
Yeah, my top 4. Amy Lou Wood, Parker Posey, Carrie Coon, Patricia Arquette. My number 5 is Allison Janney. Talk about an actor with a lot of hardware. She is an Oscar winner. Sometimes, you watch a movie and the movie's not even over and you're going, that person's winning the Oscar. Like, remember Jamie Foxx as Ray Charles, and remember Christoph Waltz in Inglourious Basterds. You're like, that person's winning. And I felt that way about Allison Janney and Tanya Harding's mother. She was fantastic in that. She is a 7-time Emmy winner. She has 7 Emmys. Seven Emmys. 2 of them for Mom, 1 of them for Masters of Sex, and 4, count them, 4 lead actress in a drama series for The West Wing. So, of course, I'm looking at her nomination here, supporting actress in a drama series for The Diplomat. Emmys, TV Academy loves her, and she deserves to be loved because she's great in that show. Either of you have Allison Janney on your list?
I do.
Yeah. Perri? Jeff? Perri? Jeff?
I want to know what Jeff's going to say with that face on.
I had her on, and right before the episode, I bumped her to the number 1 honorable mention.
Oh, interesting.
In her case, like you just said, Scott, she almost has too much hardware. It's almost like, oh, are we really just going to give Allison Janney another nomination because she's Allison Janney? I feel like it's expected at this point, and I just don't sense the buzz for season 2 of The Diplomat. This category was so deep for me that I do think in those lower slots, 5, 6, 7, that they are going to have a little bit of a youth movement. So I went with some newer contenders over Janney.
Okay. All right. Well, Perri, Nemiroff, how's Allison Janney looking on your list?
I will say, for some of the reasons that Jeff listed, she's a little lower down on my list. She's in my number 6 slot right now. Admittedly, The Diplomat is one binge that I have yet to complete in its entirety, so I can't really speak from a place of knowing with that one. But it has had a good deal of award season success, and it's one of those things where I don't know very many people personally who are super passionate about The Diplomat, but clearly it's got a wide audience and a whole lot of support in this space. So I always feel like I can't doubt it. And why would I ever doubt Allison Janney of all people? So she is on my list, but she's a little lower down.
All right, then Jeff, who's next on your list?
I don't feel great about it, but for the same reasons that I said Parker Posey, this is just like an actress who has really paid her dues, been around a long time, sort of written off as a pretty person. And it's Leslie Bibb from the White Lotus. I think Leslie Bibb slips in there. I thought she was really good and helped balance that dynamic between Carrie Coon and Michelle Monaghan, and she doesn't really get enough credit for that.
I thought you were going to say Michelle Monaghan, but I have both of those actresses, by the way, Leslie Bibb and Michelle Monaghan, in my honorable mentions.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought.
I could be wrong here for sure. It's a bit of a stretch, a bit of a reach, especially at 5. But yeah, something's just telling me that Leslie Bibb finally gets recognized after all these years.
That could be possible if Perri has her on her list.
I do not. She's in my honorable mention. I really do appreciate how you described her role in that trio, though, because I do think that's very accurate. And I think she was very successful at it. And I would not mind seeing her wind up with a nomination as well. But at this point, she is not on my list.
I'm willing to be wrong. We can bump her up when we eventually combine
our final predictions. Well, Perri, who is next on your list?
We're missing 2 people on my list. We never even hit my number 3.
All right. Well, who is your number 3?
My number 3 is Catherine Lanasa for the Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching it again right now. I feel like I've watched a lot of shows 2 times over, obviously, because I obsess over prep when I do my interviews and stuff. And I've quite enjoyed watching shows 2 times over. I can't believe how gripping the Pitt still is, even though I know everything that's happening. And another quality of it that keeps kind of like rising to the top for me the more I continue my rewatch is how instrumental she is, in addition to Noah Wyle, to bringing that entire ER together. And not just because of her job function in the space, but because of her as an actor. She is like a unique connection with literally every single person in that ensemble. And that role demands someone who like oozes authority, who not only like the characters, but like even as a viewer, you look at her and you instantly respect her. And she does that to like such an extent. I think she's going to wind up being like a pretty big powerhouse in this category. And I know you guys don't have her as high on your list or like on your list at all as I do, but I really do see her going up, up, up as the season progresses.
I have Catherine Lanassa at number 6 on my list. Jeff, do you have her on yours?
It killed me to leave her off because I thought she was great. But yeah, I have everyone in the pit in honorable mentions. I just feel like Noah Wyle just sucked up so much energy from that show. Like, we didn't even talk about Patrick Ball or anybody in supporting actor above. And I just think that's because the focus is so much on Noah Wyle. Like, I love the pit. It's amazing. How do we not, like on my personal list, she'd be on it. Taylor Dearden would be on it. Issa Briones would be on it. But I think that they're actually going to end up splitting the vote. Is what I fear. Is that there's so many great supporting actresses on the pit. No one's really going to be sure who to rally behind, and that's why I have some other folks.
Well, you could say that about White Lotus too. But White Lotus is more of a higher profile show. It's in its 3rd season, and it was more of a phenomenon. Although I think the pit is one of the best shows of the year.
Man, I'm sorry to put you on the spot. You don't happen to remember the stats on how many White Lotus actors got into the categories season 1? Do you?
Not off the top of my head, but
I'm just like wondering if they didn't dominate season 1 and then remember where they basically filled both categories in season 2. Like, maybe that'll be next year for the pit. But again, I don't know that stat off the top of my head either.
Well, then, Jeff, who else is on your list?
And number 6, I have Deacon Lockman from Severance.
All right. Okay.
Just again, sense that she's blowing up, that she took a leap in season 2, which I haven't seen. But I have her and Isabella Merced from The Last of Us at number 7.
Yeah.
I went with some younger performers at 6 and 7 rather than Allison Janney and Catherine Lanassa. Happy to be wrong about that. It's just where I, felt it this morning.
Deacon Lockman is my number 1 honorable mention, and Isabella Merced is my number 2 honorable mention. This is I think this is a category where, like, once you get past like the first 4, it gets a little like, well, yeah, it could be this person, could be that person. Perri, who's missing from your list?
My last slot is the only one I haven't revealed, and I'm sticking with the pit. I went Taylor Dearden. I think that I think that the pit is going to rise to the top. And while I do have, let's say, Isabella Merced in my honorable mentions, I'm not going to completely write off some of the names you've both just listed, but I do think that this category is largely going to be dominated by the pit and the White Lotus.
Yeah.
HBO is going to have one heck of a run this season.
Yeah, definitely. I have Taylor at number 7 on my list. So looks like by unanimous, not unanimous, I'm sorry, majority rule, we have our 7. Unless, Jeff, there's other names you want to throw out.
Give me the 7 again that we're doing.
We have Amy Lou Wood, Parker Posey, Carrie Coon, Patricia Arquette. Then best 2 out of 3, Allison Janney, Catherine Lanassa, Taylor Dearden.
I mean, I can live with that. I'm not going to argue too strenuously for the 3 that I chose. I'd even go with Dearden and Lanassa over Allison Janney. I think Allison Janney is the one who's vulnerable to me. But I like the list that you guys came up with.
Well, then that is the list. Of course, that list could change when we do our final predictions the week before the nominations for the Emmys, which should take place on July 15th. This has definitely been a great conversation as always. Make sure you share FYC on your social media platforms. Don't think anyone else is going to do it. Take your part just by watching. If you're still with us at this point at 34 minutes and 18 seconds into this broadcast here, then you obviously love watching the 3 of us weigh in on the Emmys and, of course, the Oscars. So please spread the word on your social media platforms for more people to watch FYC and stay with us season after season. Make sure you scroll down and hit subscribe to Perri's YouTube channel. Make sure you follow Perri on social media at P Nemiroff or Perri Nemiroff. Make sure you follow the Ed Snyder on his social media. Subscribe to theinsnyder.com. Watch the Hot Mic on John Roca's YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter, X, Instagram, TikTok, Friendster, at Movie Mance, and make sure you join us for the next episode of FYC. FYC, baby. Until next time, FY. See you later.